So I used to think that upgrading your life meant that you had to make these huge changes all at once. However, I quickly came to learn that that is far from the case. It's all about small, consistent, steady shifts that make the big difference. Today, I plan to show you how I am slowly upgrading my life one step at a time. And if that's something you're interested in, then stay tuned for the video.
If you know exactly what I wanna do, then I'ma get a business too.
You could bet that, never gotta sweat that. You could bet that, never gotta sweat that. You could bet that, never gotta sweat that. You could bet that.
Hey guys, what is poppin'? It's your girl Tawana, aka T, where everyone to be at the end of the day, and I am back with another video. As you can tell from the intro, I will be talking about how we plan to upgrade our lives in slow, small, consistent steps. If that sounds like something you are up for, then let's just get into the video at this point. So let's talk about why small changes matter. Don't get twisted, big changes are amazing. Like going from that level 1 to level 10 in such a quick period of time is amazing. However, it can be slightly overwhelming at times, especially for people like myself, anyone who is an introvert or anyone who likes to naturally reflect on their life and where they're at. Going through such a quick change can be overwhelming. However, taking them slow, consistent steps will help these changes stick in the long run. So I kind of wanted to share my current self-growth journey and kind of let you guys know why small changes matter than the big drastic changes, and maybe some of you guys can relate as well. So be very, very transparent, very, very vulnerable for you guys. So I'm hoping this is a safe space. But anyways, so my self-growth journey kind of started pretty early. I was a self-growth babe from quite young. I would say like my early 20s. I was reading the book, I was watching the podcast, I was listening to YouTube videos of like how to be successful, how to grow your mind, you know, how to level up, like things to focus on. Like it's not all about money and riches, it's about this and it's about that. You need to focus on forgiveness and how to expand your mind. And I went into like a little whole self-obsessed with self-growth kind of thing, and it was consistent for about 2 years, and then I kind of fell off. When I got to about 22, 23, I was kind of in my party phase where I was like going to parties a lot, living my best life, going on holidays, going on party holidays, just living my life how I wanted to live it at that time. And I don't regret it. I enjoyed the experiences at that time, but I slowly started to realize that I wasn't happy. I slowly started to figure out that I just wasn't proud of who I was at the time and who I was becoming and who I was surrounded by. And like I was in a lot of like mix up, I was in a lot of, it was just negative vibes. I was always in some kind of situation, and I came to a point, and I will never forget this day. My friend at the time, I think it was New Year's, and I can't remember what year it was going to, but I was 24, and it was going into the year of, so my birthday's in November, so yeah, I was 24 at the time. I remember it was that New Year's. If I can remember the year, I'll put it on the screen. It was that New Year's, and I was sitting in the house, and I was sitting on the floor, and like I just started bawling. Like I just started crying in the house, and like my friends don't see me cry because before the person I am today, I used to hide my emotions a lot. I was never vulnerable. People never used to see that side to me. I saw it as some kind of weakness back then anyway, whereas what I really know now is that it's really strength. But either way, I remember just crying in her house, bawling. I remember she came in and she was like, oh my god, Tawana, like what's wrong? Because obviously she doesn't see me cry. Like Tawana's always the strong one. Tawana's always the one that's good. Tawana's always the one that's, you know, she keeps it pushing, you know, she's hustle and bustle, and yeah, she's cold-hearted and she doesn't get upset and all of these things. These are all like my nicknames at the time. I just started bawling, and she was like, oh, what's wrong? And I was just crying. I was in hysterics or whatever. And then I finally just told her, I'm just not happy. And then she was like, what do you mean you're just not happy? I said, I'm just not happy. Like, I'm not happy with my life. I'm not like happy who I am. I'm not happy with where I'm at. I'm not happy with so many things. She looked at me confused because I feel like a lot of my friends feel like I'm doing very, very well. And she looked at me like very, very confused, but she was very, very supportive at the time. And she just let me like cry on her shoulder and let me just leg it all out. But that was the day that I realized like this had to change. And that is when I decided to like jump on my self-growth journey for the long run. I feel like a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm gonna just change myself in 6 months or a year. And yes, it sounds catchy, it sounds like a trend, like become her in 6 months, absolutely. But I feel like self-growth is more than that. Like really learning who you are is an ongoing process. It's not gonna happen overnight. Plus you change. What you wanted at 21, what you want at 25, and what you want at 30 it's gonna be different, and you need to allow yourself to, allow yourself to change. You're not who you was back in 21. Like when you was 21, you had goals to have this, and then when you got to 25, your goals changed. That is completely fine. So yeah, my self-growth journey hasn't been the most smoothest, but I feel like from that day when I was 24 till now, just 3 years I've been on this journey, I really like deep dived into me and what I love and what I want to do. And I've started things and I've stopped things and I've tried things out and all of these things. But one thing I will say is that when I have figured out what works for me, I have stuck with it in the long run. I've been consistent. And going back to the example of the morning routine, like I used to get up at 9 a.m. I don't get up at 9 a.m. anymore because I made them small changes. I remember I went from 9, went to 8:30, went to 8, went to 7:30, and now I'm on 7. It's just these consistent small things. I never used to read. I read every single night before I go to bed. Well, I did used to read and then I stopped actually, and now I read consistently. I take myself out on solo dates. I see things on the internet all the time, and no disrespect to my friends, I do love them, but you can't wait for your friends to try things out. Sometimes you just gotta do things on your own, and that's where real confidence is. Going out in public on your ones and knowing that you are having a good time by yourself. So I hope this resonated with someone, and maybe in the comments down below, if you guys are feeling comfortable to share your story, then that by all means, I will need to see you down there. But that is kind of where my self-growth journey at, and that's why I believe that small consistent step over the big changes, because slow and steady wins the race. You guys already know that story. Sorry, if you guys see me, it's because I'm looking at my notes. If you guys are a true subscriber here and you're returning, you guys know I always got my notes on the side, so I will be looking to the side just to make sure I cover my bases of everything I want to discuss with you in this video today. So enough about talking about myself and my journey. Let's talk about what you're really here for, and that is to figure out how I'm slowly upgrading my life and how you can do the same. So the first thing you're going to want to focus on or look into upgrading on a slow and steady basis is shifting your mindset. Your mind is a very, very powerful part of your body. It is a very powerful tool, and it is going to take some time, but you need to shift your mindset. All those limited beliefs, all those thoughts that are not your own, all of that programming that is in your head, we're gonna need to start shifting that. And again, it's not gonna happen overnight. It took me a while. There's still certain limited beliefs that I am working on to this day, but you will see it shift over time if you're dedicated and if you are consistent with your self-growth journey. So now I kind of want to tackle what you can do to kind of help with shifting your mindset. So you can focus on journaling. Journaling is a really, really good start. It helps you to really get in tune with yourself. It helps you to be very vulnerable with yourself and jot down your thoughts onto paper. I feel like journaling was probably one of the biggest things for me that allowed me to really start understanding who I was, because I was allowed to put my thoughts on paper instead of them staying locked up in here. You also can do things like making small tweaks, intentional tweaks to your life. So your morning routine, you can make small tweaks to that. Your night routine, make small tweaks to that. Any kind of routine you have in place. I've got a Sunday reset, making small tweaks to that. Maybe small tweaks around your house, you know, throwing out old clutter, bringing some new stuff, maybe clothes. Maybe you want to change up how you dress. Take some of that out and start tweaking your clothes a little bit. Maybe your makeup, maybe you're so used to having this kind of makeup and you still don't feel pretty. Tweak it a little bit, work on something. Maybe you want to apply more blush. Maybe you want to try, you know, a different eyebrow or different lip gloss, or you're scared to try a red lipstick because you think it won't go. Try it. Make these small tweaks to kind of figure out how it is you can start shifting these limited beliefs. Another really good thing is listening to books, podcasts, and YouTube channels. I listen to a lot of people for various different things, but I would say like at this point right now, I'm really obsessed with the goddess. Nope. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, one person I'm really obsessed with right now is Habits of a Goddess. She has a lot of affirmations that you can listen to while you're on the train, while you're getting ready, in the shower, whatever, in your routine. Listen to her, and she has affirmations for everything. She has affirmations for confidence. She has affirmations for money. She has affirmations for self-development. She has the past trauma. Like literally, she has affirmations for everything. And trust me, you will find some affirmations that you love. Take your time to go over there and look and just browse. I really enjoy her content. Someone else that I recently have become obsessed with is Claim Your Power. Claim Your Power podcast. I listen to that on my long drives, because sometimes first thing in the morning I've stopped listening to music. If you guys don't already know, check out my 9 habits that changed my life, and I'll link that in the description. But her podcast really helps me to claim my power back, like in myself, and really help with my limited beliefs in my head. And I feel like it's perfect for me, because that's where I'm at in my life, in tackling certain limited beliefs. I don't think I lack confidence like that anymore. I feel like my confidence confidence is definitely here now, but in terms of other areas, I'm just like learning to keep that confidence, because it's one thing getting it, but you need to keep it. You can't let them limited beliefs crawl back in. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, I feel like those are like some good tips that you can try. I also listen to people on YouTube, so I listen to like people like Gary Vee, I listen to people like Eddie Pinero, I listen to Stephen Bartlett. There's a lot of people who, when you hear them speak, you just resonate with them, or they just making sense and you just tune in. Those are the people you want to keep around you on your YouTube channel, on your Spotify or Apple Music. Like, get obsessed with these people and their mindset and start absorbing that into your own. Okay, so on to the next one. So the next thing, I know I've kind of briefly mentioned this in the first bit, but the next thing that I am doing to slowly change my life is focusing on my daily habits and my productivity. Not on a massive crazy scale, but on small steps. And I feel like the perfect example for this for myself is my morning and night routine. I never used to have one of these, and I used to see a lot of people on TikTok talking about the perfect morning routine, the perfect night routine, what you should include, what you should do, and rah. And don't get twisted, like my favorite YouTubers did this as well. It's like, you're a full-time content creator, I have a job, I can't resonate with the morning routine that you have, so how am I gonna get my ideal morning routine? Does that make sense? And that's kind of where I started just making small tweaks to my existing morning routine and started adding things in, and to make me feel really good in the morning. Like, one thing I did was giving myself extra time. I hate the rushing thing just to get extra sleep. I hate waking up and I've got an hour to get ready and then I gotta rush and get to work. Like, that used to be me. That's not me anymore. I need an extra 30 minutes so I can take my time when I'm getting ready, and it makes such a big difference. It makes such a big difference. The whole rushing around and trying to get somewhere, no. Taking that extra 30 minutes to wake up earlier, I get to get out of my bed slowly, I get to go into the shower slowly, I get to do my skincare slowly. There's no. So, but that happened over time because I thought an hour was enough for me, and then I slowly realized that wasn't the case. It wasn't making me feel at my optimum self. It wasn't making me feel good. So to upgrade that, I had to tweak my routine a little bit, and those are the kind of small tweaks I'm talking about. Like, that's nothing crazy, but giving myself an extra half an hour is nothing crazy. I also worked on my productivity and my time management. As you guys know, I have a full-time job and I also do YouTube as well, and it's just about like making sure I stick to those things. So I have like a very strict calendar and I time block everything out. But what I did at first was, in my calendar, it was very packed with bare stuff. Oh, I'm gonna do this 101 things in 101 days. No, it's not gonna happen. You're gonna get exhausted, you're gonna get tired, and you're only human, and you should allow yourself to relax. So I started tweaking it. I started giving myself some me time, so allow myself to have time to go on social media, to go watch Netflix, as well as have productive time where I can work on my YouTube channel and when I can also go to work and do all the things that I love and be passionate about. You're only human, you only have one life, so why should you enslave yourself like some kind of robot? Tweak your productivity, tweak it a little bit. If it's not working and you feel like you're being drained all the time, tweak it. So saying that, one great app, and I feel like you guys hear me obsessed about this app a lot, so it's given fan, but it's fine, I am a fan, is Notion. Taking the time to learn and study Notion has really allowed me to develop systems in place that allow me to keep my productivity in place in all areas of my life. From my projects at work, to my routines at home, to my inventory and grocery shopping. All of that is organized, and because it is organized, it helps me to be a bit more productive with myself and get more stuff done. So if you guys are interested in Notion, I'm telling you, it's free. You should check it out. I'll link it in the description. But that's not what we're here for. We're not here for Notion. So we're just going to move on to the next step, okay? So the next area that I am slowly upgrading is my finances. So nothing extreme. Like I said, this is not what the video is about. But I have intentionally been focusing on my spending and budgeting better, and as well as saving. I used to save a lot when I was younger because I didn't have as much expenses as I do now. However, I have learned to budget better, which has allowed me to save more. And I have now figured out a way of intentionally spending that works for me. I know there's a load of things out in the world that we want. However, you've just got to be patient for certain things, and you just got to control that spending, especially if it's not in your budget. And one thing I did that is that I created this whole Notion page all around my finances, which literally covers everything from my credit score to my expenses to my income to even birthdays. Like when people's birthdays are coming up, it lets me know a month in advance, so I know I can get this person's gift within the next month, so I don't have to stress about, oh my god, because I can't lie, I have a few friends whose birthdays are like neighboring, and my friends are adults, so this is not no chocolate and flower kind of thing. I would like to get my friend a perfume, or, you know, something cute, and like 3 of you back to back, damn. Like the fact So all of those kind of things have allowed me to upgrade my finances. It's enabled me to save more. It's enabled me to actually monitor where my money's going and focus on how, like, where my money shouldn't be going. So for example, there was a stage where I was buying munchies a lot, and you know when you go to the shop and you're like, oh yeah, it's only £1.50, it's only £1.50, it's only £1.50, and then it was £3 or whatever, and then you go and look at your monthly expense and you saw you spent £80 on munchies. £80 on munchies, Twana. Oh hell fucking no, that had to that had to get changed. So it's all things like that. It's just like intentionally focusing on my finance now. I review my finance every Sunday and I see where my money is going and I analyze it. And I feel like for someone who used to be scared of money to someone where I'm at now, I feel very confident with how my money has upgraded to where it was in the past to where it is now. So, and it didn't happen overnight. It's same with my credit score. I at one point was in very poor, made some bad decisions, made mistakes, did favors for people, never do that again, and it took me a while, but I got myself out. But it was the small consistent changes. I was focusing on making sure all my bills were paid on time. I was focusing on not taking out any loans or doing any credit check. I was checking my report monthly to see how I can improve it, making sure I had everything ticked off, and literally in about a year I was back into fit. Like I think I was at 333 and I skyrocketed all the way to like 780, and in a year I feel like that's pretty quick. That was based on me being disciplined and looking at the bigger picture of where I wanted my credit score to be in the long term. Do you know what I mean? So it's all these little small upgrades that I focus on, but I did it one step at a time. Even with the savings, like I don't do no mad saving. I have like 2 savings accounts. So I have an ISA where money goes in every single month, and then I have this other savings account on my Starlings which rounds up to the nearest pound and takes the change and puts it in that pot. But because it does it automatically, I don't even realize that the money's gone in there. And I went to go open another pot the other day because I'm taking my boyfriend on holiday for his birthday, so I wanted to make like a little spending pot for his birthday. And I went in there, I was like, bruh, it wasn't anything crazy, but it wasn't hard. I was like, is this where we at? Because remember, you gotta think about it, it's like these are pennies that are adding up. So it's just realizing that every penny counts, you get what I mean? Because without that being rounded up to the nearest pound, whether that was 20p, whether that was 3p, whether that was 5p, it's added up to where it is in, like, it's over £100 now, do you know what I mean? So yeah, like these are just all little small tweaks that I made slowly over time, and focusing on one area first and then moving on to the next is a great way to slowly upgrade your finances. Like if your credit score is not where you want to be, focus on that, maybe a year, get it to where you want to be, where you're happy, then maybe move into savings or focus on debt, or like really just pinpoint what's bothering you with your finance and pluck that and focus on that. And then when it's where at level, you pluck the next bit and you focus on that. Do you know what I mean? So that's another way that I'm slowly upgrading my finances. So the next area that I am slowly upgrading is my wellness and self-care. This has been a big thing for 2024 in particular, and I feel like it's gone really, really well, and I'm really proud of how I'm ending 2024 in regards to my wellness and my self-care. So for me, especially as an introvert in a very, very busy world, it is important that I take care of myself. One thing I would say was big for me was my skin and my gut. When I entered 2024, my gut was really, really bad, and I was nearly diagnosed with IBS. However, I really honed down on gut health and got that changed. I also focused on my skin. I feel like because my gut was unhealthy, I started to get all these pimples, all these dark marks, all these spots, and my skin looked atrocious without makeup. Like I actually got to a point where I hated myself without makeup, and I've never really been in a stage of that in my life. I've always usually had pretty good skin. So when I got to a stage like that, I was like, no, something's got to give. Something's got to give. So I started making small changes. I started off with my gut because I feel like that was the source of the problem. So I started doing some research and I found out about probiotics and probiotics. Is it probiotics? Probiotics, yeah. And then I started focusing on my greens, having my green smoothies and first thing in the morning, drinking warm water before and after I eat to help with digestion. I was focusing on what I was actually eating, making sure I was getting the right balance of fiber and all of these things into my routine. I was really like focused on improving my gut health. And if you want a more in-depth video of how I did improve my gut health, then let me know in the description and I can do that for you. But it was simple things like that. And then I moved on to like my skin. And don't get twisted, like you guys see the TikToks. You guys see the TikToks about, oh, your morning routine, all the products you need to get glowy skin. Them motherfuckers ain't cheap. I've only just fully got my whole collection of skincare that allows me to get my skin to a level. And I've spoken about this in my monthly reflections where I've literally said, I think it was in the September one, where I am so happy with where my skin is at right now. It is so glowy. It is so back to its like high flourish self as it should be. and that's where it needs to stay. But it was all because of small things. I first figured out how to deal with my textured skin, so I bought the products for that. Didn't buy it all at once because Inky List and all of them places there are not motherfucking cheap. Like, I was like, damn, like even SPF, I was like, yo, you motherfuckers cost this much? So yeah, either way, I literally, so what I did, I broke it down. I said, cool, this is what I can afford for this month for my skincare, and I'm gonna just buy what's the most important. So I watched videos, I researched, and I saw, cool, the niacinamide was a big thing, and I needed the cleansers, and those are the first 3 things I bought. The next month, I started getting my SPF, and that's when I got the glycic acid, and I started looking into those things as well. I've bought a few things now, and like now, that's when I started to notice that my textured skin was actually going. Then all I had to focus on was my dark mark, and then that's when I started buying the products for that. I still have a few dark marks I'm trying to get rid of, but I feel like my routine, what I have so far, is working. But you need to understand, I started that journey at January. We just hit November the 1st today. So you gotta realize that took me 11 months to really rectify my gut and my skin. Can you just see, like, it's all about the small things. Another big thing for me is spending more quality time for myself. I started taking myself to coffee shops this year, and it's the best thing I've ever done. And I say coffee shops, but coffee shops slash solo date. It has done me so well. Like, I remember when I first said I was gonna do this, and like, I swear I put it off for like 3 months, I didn't do it. And then I finally gained the courage. I was like, no, fuck this. I said, I need to go out. I need to get out of my environment. I need to go. And I literally went, and it was the best thing ever. It was just like to be with myself and to enjoy it. And I started going like once a month, and then it got to twice a month, then it went to like 3 times a month because I was getting excited. And now I'm back at two times a month, because obviously I've got like, the end period is always like the busiest for me, because a lot of like family, friends, birthdays, and my own birthday, of course, which is a lot of money to spend. But like, yeah, where I was going with this is just like, take yourself out, start small. You know, you don't have to do nothing crazy, it doesn't have to be nothing expensive like all these luxury dinners. Go to a coffee shop if you're into coffee, go to a cafe if you like them cafes. You know, there's a nice couple cafes. Shakespeare, if you know, yeah, is banging. There's even a couple food. Go for shisha, go for a walk in the park, go and do something with yourself. Do you know what I mean? Go shopping. One thing I don't play with me, I don't wait for nobody. If I need to go shopping, like, I'm going shopping tomorrow, I'm going by myself. And me, I'm that type of, I like to open it, smell, really enjoy me shopping for myself, for my skin, for my body, for everything. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't need my friend here. Like, people who need someone to go shopping with, not to say you're weird, but you need to learn to go shopping by yourself. Not because you need to, because you genuinely enjoy just being in your own company. And then go get yourself a little pretzel or a little something after. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, do it. And then come back to the comments and let me know how you found it. How about that? I feel like that's a deal. You take yourself out and you come back to this video and let me know how it went, okay? Okay, so the last thing I am doing to slowly upgrade my life, and I think it will help you to slowly upgrade yours as well, social and emotional growth. I am finally at a point where I have learned to stand up for myself. It's something I struggled with for years. Speaking up for Tawana has been a challenge. Even when it's uncomfortable, it has helped me to feel more at peace. A big way of like growing socially / emotionally is the boundary setting. I don't know who taught me not to have boundaries, but you need to have boundaries. That goes to family, friends, and your partner if you've got one. Yeah, everybody, even co-workers, there needs to be boundaries with everything. A good one for me is work. Like, my work is very demanding, very hands-on. It can get manic. It's been a manic week this week, but I have a life outside of my job, and my job never asks me to stay behind, which I think is great anyway. So there's not that expectation. But some jobs might be like, oh, get it done, yeah, stay back. No, are you paying me? I don't think so. Boundaries. I gotta go, I gotta clock off, I got a life to live, I got kids to feed, I gotta go shoot myself, I got a YouTube channel to record, I got editing to do. Do you know what I mean? Whatever you do in your spare time, that's what you got planned. You don't need to over explain yourself or anything. And even this over explaining, like, I told you no means no. I don't owe you an explanation. You've come to me. Oh, Tawana, can you stay behind? No, sorry, I can't. Oh, why? I don't need to give you a reason why. I've done my shifts, done my 40 hours. I don't need to stay behind. And it's not even like in an aggressive tone or anything, but I work in a very healthy environment where that expectation is not there. So I'm just mad grateful for that. But I hear people's TikTok stories sometimes, and I'm just like, these employers are bloody cheeky. Like, how dare you ask that person to stay behind and you're not going to pay them the overtime? But it also goes for relationships. I already mentioned the family, the friends, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, whoever it is, the partner. Boundaries. Like, if I tell you I don't like something, I don't like it. So I expect you to respect me and not do what I don't like. Because it would work vice versa. If you told me you didn't like me calling you a nickname that I've calling you, I'm not gonna call you that. I'm not gonna be like, oh, stop being silly, and call you the name again. You just told me you don't like it, so I'm gonna stop it. Same applies to me. If I tell you don't like something and you're still doing it, you don't respect me. You don't respect my issues. You don't respect how I feel, and that's a problem. And I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna try and make you understand, because that's the problem here. There's a miscommunication. What I'm gonna do is remove myself, because I have boundaries. You see that metal fence with them wires at the top? That's what I have for my peace of mind. And you need to start building yours too. Yeah. Anytime you feel like someone's made you uncomfortable, or you feel like you didn't feel respected, or it made you rub you the wrong way, set boundaries, baby girl, baby boy, and respect what you have. Because if you don't put those boundaries in place for yourself, to respect yourself, nobody else will. And I can't lie, like I've been there where I didn't have any boundaries. People took the piss. Took the piss out of me. Walking mat, I was. Oh, hell no. You can't do that to one today. Oh, hell no. And as I said, it's not even got to be an attitude flex or like a rough or tough kind of flex. It's just like oh, is that how you're moving? Okay, noted. Bounce. I'm out. It's that simple. It happened the other day when I was having a conversation, and I felt like someone was trying to draw me out of character because they remembered something I used to be. You remember a Twana from 4 or 5 years ago? Let her go, because I did. The fuck? So boundaries is a big thing, and it's going to take quite a while to learn and understand what boundaries you need to set for yourself, but give it time. Just pay attention to you. How does your body feel? Like, has someone said something and then your hands get sweaty, or they get clammy, or you realize your hands are shaking because someone's saying something and it's triggered something? No, pick up all of these. Pick it all up, because it's all about learning yourself and how you want to be treated in the world, and you have to set those in place for people to understand. Nobody's mind readers. You got to set those boundaries in place, make these people understand, and then if they disrespect after that, then you already know what it is. Because someone who loves you and cares for you and wants to respect you as a person, you will only have to tell them once. Like, I remember I overstepped with a friend, and she told me, she's like, oh, I feel like you overstepped. I swore blind I would never do that again. And you know what's happened? I've never done it again, because I respect my brethren. She's come to me and she's told me that she didn't feel comfortable with with my actions that day, and I said I apologized, and I told her that very day it will never happen again, and it's never happened since. So, like I've said, these are not nothing massive. These are not massive changes that are going to make drastic changes in your life as ASAP. It's not going to take you from 0 to 100 like overnight. But I'm telling you, if you start focusing on these areas and slowly start implementing these in a consistent long-term basis, you are on your way to becoming your best self. Like, I'm not even there yet. I feel like I'm still in my transitioning phase, and I'm loving it. I'm enjoying the process, because when I look back, I'm like, oh my God, it looks like, is that who? Like, who's that? That was me. So I just want to give this small reminder for you. Remember, growing your life doesn't have to be fast or flashy. Small and steady steps are just as powerful. If you are on a journey where you are trying to upgrade yourself, upgrade your life, mentally, physically, spiritually, start with something small. And I want you to drop a comment. Like, leave me a comment on something you're gonna start, something small that you're gonna start adding to your life that's gonna contribute to you becoming your best self. And I will see you guys down there. If you guys liked the video, please leave a like or a comment, as we've got multiple discussions to talk about down there. And if you're not already, definitely subscribe. Also check out my social media, because I am on TikTok and Instagram, and I post on there every single day. Whereas, like, on here I only post once a week. So, and I will catch you in my next one. Love you. Bye.